Hey there, this is Russ Slagan, host of the Big Agent Meeting. Thank you for showing up. It is Friday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is December 15th, and we've got a special show set up for you today. But before we get into that, I want to tell you a quick story. I was in Cincinnati, Ohio, and Michael Valdez, who I report to directly, that's my boss, and he said something on stage, which was kind of interesting, which will come into play here in a second. He announced to everybody in the room that I was wearing a toupee. I thought was great, right? I laughed my butt off. It was hilarious. And then I was retelling that story when I was in Minneapolis, and Glenn Sanford looks at me and he says, Russ, you should grow a mullet. Like, what is the deal with these guys? So I just wanted to address the elephant in the room. Yes, I have hair. I have a full head of hair. And you're going to notice because we're going to do a replay today of two amazing sessions we did earlier in the year. And I'm going to go straight from this to completely bald in about the next 30 seconds. So I just wanted to point it out that I know, yeah, got it. This is actually my real hair. And I'm going to keep on growing it out. So welcome to my world over here. So with that said, today we've got a replay show. We're trying to get some of our team a little bit of downtime coming up to the holidays. So we got a replay show going for you today. We're going to open with Annie Pellegrini. She is the person that runs Extend a Hand. She's an amazing human being and one of my favorite people. If you see the I Heart EXP shirts, that's part of the stuff that she does. So that's Annie Pellegrini. We're going to kick off with her because it was a great interview and a great conversation. And then we're going to dive into a conversation about relationships with Monica Weakley. She's one of the agents in EXP Realty that is actually on the board of directors for EXP, and just had a great conversation with her. She's just a beautiful, amazing human being. We're gonna have a conversation with her. You guys get to see these replays. So without any more delay, jump right on into Annie Pellegrini. Let's go. All right, so with that said, I want to drop in Annie Pellegrini. Annie, come on down. Let's check out Annie Pellegrini. She is the Extend a Hand program manager. She is our first guest today. EXP does some really cool stuff, and a lot of that is because of what you do, Annie. Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me, Russ. Hi, everyone.
Hey. So let's start off with the simple stuff. Tell me a little bit about who you are and where do you come from?
Well, I actually am dialing in from Northern California, Sacramento. I'm originally from San Francisco. And I started out in the real estate industry in the Silicon Valley in the 90s, actually. Wow. It was interesting because everyone was migrating from the MLS was a book back then. Yeah. And then I'm dating myself. And then we all migrated to the, to online, and agents were freaking out, trying to figure out how to use the computer. And I actually was a title rep for many years in the Bay Area. And then I came up to Sacramento area to raise my family. And I'm in Folsom, California, next to a beautiful lake. And throughout those years, I rode a couple market rides, and I migrated into the fundraising and charity and giving back the community relations part of the industry. But also I worked and volunteered with Make-A-Wish Foundation, Home Aid, and Boys and Girls Club, and a lot of organizations up here in Northern California. And I found my passion in that, and I love it.
Yeah, so that's a heck of a run there, right? So let's see. So back in the day, like 2015, 16, 17, 18 in my world, which seems like a million years ago, I had 9 offices that I managed the managers of that were in California. I had like the lower half of the country, right? And 9 of them were there. So there's a little town called Vacaville somewhere near you.
Yeah, that's about an hour away.
Yeah, we had a little office in Vacaville there. So I used to pop into town, fly into San Fran, and go roll over that direction. And what an amazingly beautiful area. Northern California is stunning. So great place to live. Good place to live.
I love it. I like to be outdoors. So
yeah. There's a ton of really great stuff in that area. So fantastic place to live. Good for you. So let's go backwards to some experience with so you sold house. So you were in title, right?
And I was in title for many years. And then I actually had several different roles within the real estate industry. And I didn't get into actual sales till the 2015.
Nice.
So and I sold and I flipped homes, and I got into the staging world.
Yeah.
But I always also had the fundraising involvement. And then when I joined EXP in 2021, I was on the growth team. So some of you I know from that original role. I worked with the RVPs, Amy Weaver and Sean, and shout out to them.
Yes.
And then they were looking for someone to lead the Extend a Hand program.
Yeah.
And I jumped. I was very enthusiastic about that. And it was wonderful.
Fantastic. Well, it was kind of funny because I was mentioning we were going to have you on the show, and I was like, hey, I don't really know her that well. I know of her, and she's reached out to me before, and she seems nice, and they're like, oh my God, she's amazing. We love her. She's awesome. You got to grab her.
Thank you.
I was like, hey, do I have her on the show? Should I not have her? And they're like, oh, heck yeah, she's amazing. So I was so thrilled that everybody loved her. Well, when you meet somebody on chat.
Yeah.
Like, do they talk?
You and I met at shareholders, and we talked about the birthday story.
You know what? By the way, I want to make sure I wish one of my favorite people in the company, an actual legitimate, not a funny, I'm making fun of them, giving them a hard time, ruining their day type of thing. But Holly Mabry had a birthday. It was yesterday or day before yesterday. Holly Mabry, VP of Operations, one of my favorite people in the world. And we joke about saying happy birthday and blowing up their chat and stuff, but it actually legitimately is her birthday. It's her birthday. And so send her some birthday love because it literally actually is her birthday. And I'm seriously not kidding. Whereas now I don't know whether he's kidding or not. No, I'm serious. Actually, check it on Facebook. It's on Facebook. It's got to be real, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So let's go back to a couple of the other organizations that you played with. So you said you worked with Make-A-Wish. Yes,
it was amazing.
Amazing.
It was one of the most wonderful experiences of my life. I was a regional manager, and I raised money to help grant the wishes of the kids in Northern California and manage events. It was just amazing. And, you think you're having a rough day, and then you see these kids going through these life-threatening illnesses in their families, and they have such hope.
Yes.
And courage and great attitudes. And then I would go home and go, it was just wonderfully rewarding. And it was just a good, wonderful experience. So, yeah.
Yeah. I worked with a group called Sunshine Kids, and they were title sponsored by Prudential Real Estate back in the day before it was Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. And our local Prudential, which is Prudential Tropical Realty, where I kind of cut my teeth getting into leadership. I was running one of their local offices, and they were having trouble getting volunteers to go to Orlando to chaperone kids. And I'm like, why are you having trouble getting chaperones? And here's the thing. I started asking questions. I'm like, there's no reason in the world we can't get people. I'm like, how many people do we need? And they're like, Russ, get as many as you can. 24 hours later, I had 40 people on a list ready to rock and roll. Right. So, and I called up and I'm like, all right, so I've got 40. Do I need any more? And she's like, what do you mean you got 40? I was hoping you'd get 5. I'm like, well, shoot, now what? Like, you told me go. And I'm like, go. You didn't say how slow. So we got a bunch of people together. And here's a really weird one. There are certain people that would say, you know what, Russ, I can't do that. And I'm like, explain to me why. Because I don't get it. And they said to me, I can't look those children in the face and not see the face of my child. And at that point, I thought, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine that because my wife and I don't have children. My wife can't have children due to having a muscle disease. It's all good. We live a great life, right? But so I don't have children of my own. So for me, I just see it as a kid that wants to have fun. So I thought that was a unique spot for me to be able to actually do something that other people couldn't because I didn't have those attachments. So we just went and had a riot act. Can you imagine rolling through Disney with Uncle Russ? They're like, hey, Uncle Russ, you need to tone it down a little bit.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so great.
But what you don't realize is those kids are just there and they just want to have fun. They just want to forget that they got all the other stuff going on. We're just there to have a good time. So you got to see that live.
And there is a common misconception that it's life-threatening and terminal, but the majority of them actually come out of their illnesses, 80% of them, and they come back to the events and speak and they tell about their wish. Yes. And they give hope to other people that may be going through the same thing. Yes. And so I really believe that the power of positivity and granting them this time to realize their dream and just escape from the medical treatments and for the whole family helps them overcome their illness.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question then. What is the weirdest Make-A-Wish you saw? Because some of these kids go for really, really.
Oh, okay. You're like, there's different categories that you can grant wishes. So they're pretty strict about what they can allow kids to do. But this one was cool. As it wasn't weird, it was cool. This little kid, Tyler, wished for a train. And I heard that and went, what? And so we granted his wish and we built a train on some train tracks that were in a park in Sacramento. Nice. And they called it the Tyler Express. And they had a number 5 on it because he was 5 years old. And he got to ride the train and the news was there. And it was so special. It was really cute.
Yeah, it's you get all kinds of unique things coming across, and like some of the kids that we saw had done Make-A-Wish stuff, and you just never know what they're going to say. It's really, really interesting. We're like, hey, maybe that's not an idea, but let's try. How about this instead? Yeah. Good. Awesome. So let's talk. What do you have on your shirt? What do you have on your shirt?
I Heart EXP. I'm a little short, so I don't know if you can see it.
There you go. I Heart EXP.
I need a phone book, but we don't have phone books anymore.
Listen, I would love to show you where my laptop is sitting right now. My laptop is sitting on top of a basket on a garbage can upside down to get.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Hey, it's not glamorous when you look at it from the outside. It's not that good. Okay.
So I Heart EXP.
Yeah. So I didn't realize. I just thought people wore that for the longest time. I didn't realize that's actually an organization, and the proceeds from that stuff and those T-shirts and that gear and that swag actually go to supporting stuff. So tell me about that.
Okay, I will. So Extend a Hand is EXP's own nonprofit. We actually are a 501c3 organization. Yes. It started back in 2007 when Glenn Sanford and several original AAC members came together to help some other fellow agents that were displaced from their homes from Hurricane Harvey in Austin and in Texas. And that little GoFundMe grew and that concept grew. And then in 2021, they received their official 501c3 status and they wanted someone to run the program. And I said, please, me. And I took it.
You're like, that's me.
Yeah, and I check it and I just love it. And what happens is we help our agents and our staff in their time of need in the form of financial grants. So if you or someone you know, I sound like a realtor, if you or someone you know is experiencing a hardship, there's an application process at extendinghandcharity.org that you can apply for a grant.
I was going to write that on my board. So
remember, don't write on the wall.
It's the game, right? So the game is every time I reach for the board, you guys got to do a shot of coffee because it's morning, right? Yeah.
Okay. So
say that again since I can't write it down.
Extendinghandcharity.org, and we're going to show a slide at the end where you can
perfect
share this. So you go there to apply for a grant.
Yep.
You can also go there to donate. And we support our agents in a time where they have maybe a catastrophic event, a medical emergency where they can't work to support their family. There's some criteria that, but we help our agents in their time of need. Also, we have an iHeart EXP group that's actually separate from Extend a Hand, but it's all part of our giving back to our agents. And Agent Monica Weakley started the iHeart EXP, similar to iHeart New York. So this caught on, and the sale of the merchandise goes back to Extend a Hand.
Nice.
She also started an iHeart EXP Community Day, which also is separate from Extend a Hand.
Nice.
But it all goes together. We all wear our shirts on the Community Day and show our unity as a company for giving back to our communities locally. So that's kind of how it got started. And that's also how the shirt, so people started wearing the shirts for Community Day, and now we wear it all the time.
Yeah, I gotta say, I see them rolling through EXPCon. So EXPCon's coming up. I guarantee you I will see people rolling around in the iHeart EXP
we sell them at our booth.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I'm like, what is the deal? Okay, got it. It makes perfect sense. So, and the proceeds go for that to help do other things. So let's tell me a story, right? Like, I love the fact that EXP has a setup with 88,000 agents. There's some stuff going on, right? There's always stuff going on, and there are people in need that can't pull themselves up. So you're not giving them a handout. You're giving them a hand up. and pulling them
Right.
so we can get them back moving again, get them back going in the right direction, which I love. And we're taking care of our own family, which is absolutely fantastic. I love that. I love that. Okay. So
Yeah.
tell me a couple stories, because I know you've got some stories.
Well, I mean, there's so many. The thing is, the monetary help is really key, and that helps. But just being able to say to someone that has lost a spouse or is going through cancer treatments, or has been in a automobile horrible accident, lost their home in a hurricane. Last October, we had 80 people in Florida that were affected by the hurricane. So to be able to say, look, we understand that you're having a hard time. We are here for you. Please let me know how else we can help. Here's a little bit of money to help you get back on your feet, and just know that we care. We care about you. Yeah. And so that is the heart of this program.
That is so beautiful in so many different ways. So by the way, I happen to know somebody that touched. So there's a guy named David Nietzsche. I don't know if you know David. David's out of the Sarasota area. His house was completely destroyed from top to bottom. It was a full wrecking ball. And here's the fun part. Like, EXP helped him, and now he's actually out in the market, and all of the things that he learned on how to work the systems and get the insurance working and get the contractors working, get the people working and dealing with the FEMA stuff. He's actually out now helping other people. So what you guys don't realize a lot of times is when you help one person and they love that and it changes their life, then he goes out and helps 10, 15, 20, 30. He's helping 40 other families. So you never realize a lot of times, like, that one person, right? That one person, I just helped one guy. Mm-hmm. And that one guy's now helping family after family after family after family after family, because he's an amazing human and he just needed a hand, right? And you guys were able to give that to him, which gives him the ability to help dozens of lives, which touches hundreds of people. So
I love it. I love it. And they don't feel like they're the only one going through this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the other thing that's important, and I just saw this on a TED Talk recently, it's a really short one, and it ties in with a book called The Happiness Advantage, written by a guy named Sean Aker. And what he said is, and what he found is that when you give to others, it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
When you give to others, it makes you feel better. So it's like, you're not doing it for yourself, but there's something in the human spirit. There's something in the way we're wired that when we give, we actually receive at the same time, and it makes you actually happier. And we know happiness is a precursor to being wealthy and healthy. So give a little bit, give a lot, give what you can when you can. And now we've got a channel and a funnel for that. So I love that. So the community day is when? When is a community day?
This year it's October 10th. So the community day actually is our 5th annual day of service for the whole company. And it is the 14th birthday of EXP. So we have this event every October to commemorate the birthday of EXP, which is typically October 6th. But because for all of us that are traveling to EXP Con, which I hope is a lot of us.
Yes.
When you get back to your local community, then on to October 10th is the actual day of the event.
Yes. Gotcha. So we're talking mass social, shoot pictures, lots of selfies, lots of short videos, all the amazing people doing amazing stuff. And it kind of gives us a little social push and get everybody going on the same time at the same page. And that's how you make a change, right? Get enough people.
Yes. And if anyone wants to find out more about volunteering or leading the region, because each region comes together, all EXP people come together and collaborate, and they help their local charity of choice. This is our opportunity to help our local communities and our charities that are near and dear to our hearts in that area. Yes. And then they can go to the iHeart EXP Workplace Chat Group, which we're going to have a link to that. And you can see all the leaders of every region and state on there, and you can get involved. Good. And we're having another leadership meeting on August 10th. And we'll cover a lot of what the leaders do. And if you'd like to volunteer, shoot me a chat or please join the iHeart EXP Workplace Chat Group, because everything is in there that you need to know about iHeart EXP Community Day. We also have an Extend a Hand chat group too, which is separate. Good.
Awesome. So go to Workplace. If you didn't catch all that, go to Workplace, iHeart EXP, iHeart EXP group in Workplace, and you guys can check it out. And there's a lot of info in there. You can type in the search at the top of Workplace, type in search, and that'll get you to that site. Join that, and then you'll be able to see everything going on there. Check it out. Get involved. Do something. Help change other people's lives. It'll help change your life.
Yes. Thank you so much, Russ.
I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're quite welcome. All righty. All right. So there you go. Next up, I'm excited to talk to Monica Weakley. I've seen her name around. I've seen her on stage. I've seen her talk a couple of times, and she is just absolutely amazing. Board of Directors, icon, and agent at EXP. Monica Weakley, good morning.
Good morning, Russ. How are you?
I'm doing great. So finally, I get to talk to you.
I feel the same way. I mean, the guy with the vest and the tie, I'm finally here.
You're like, who is that guy? Who is that guy? I know I've seen him somewhere. I like his hair.
Love your hair. No, I think you're doing an amazing job. You bring so much energy to these calls, and it's contagious.
Well, thank you very much. Actually, I noticed earlier that you're in Cincinnati, Ohio. I have driven through Cincinnati, Ohio so many times because of going north and south between Michigan and Florida. I had houses on both ends for a number of years, and we just drive down and we had the Greyhounds. So we put them in the van and off we go. That is the scariest spot in the whole country going north and south on 75 when you go down the hill and up the other side. That is the scariest spot in the world to drive.
It really is. Honestly, it like legitimately reported traffic issues is, yes. But, you know, when you live here, you know how to navigate it or work around it is what I do. But next time you're in Cincinnati, you better take a little pit stop and call me.
Well, you know, funny enough, there's another Monica in Cincinnati.
Monica Darcel. Yep.
Darcel, right? She actually has me in chat and she's like, you're coming. I said, I would. So we're just going to work out the date. That's probably going to be somewhere in the November range. And I will be down there and you know I'm going to find you.
Nice. Yeah, she's Monica with a K. I'm Monica with a C. That's how we decipher that.
Like all the amazing people in Cincinnati are named Monica. That's all I know.
That's right. Right.
All right. So let me ask you a couple questions here. So you're a real estate agent and you're also on board of directors. So let me ask you about the board of directors thing first. So number one, some people might not even know what that means. So what does that mean?
Well, we as agents are super lucky to have leadership that literally not only wants to listen and hear what agents say, but they're, walking the walk, and they put agents on the board of directors for EXP World Holdings, which of course is different than EXP Realty. So about, a year and a half ago or so, Jason Gessing reached out and asked if I would interview. They were interviewing a few agents for a spot that Fee Gentry was opening up, who is an amazing leader in our company as well. And I was just blown away by the opportunity to even be considered, for sure. So I went through some interviewing processes and was asked to join the board. So I take one of the seats and represent, the way agents think, the way we feel about topics. Glenn is always tapping into my thoughts or gut reaction on things. He really does care. And most decisions are all driven by that, which is working really well. So I'm honored. I sit on the board with all these amazing people. I'm just like absorbed. I mean, geez, like who am I?
It's kind of funny. I was reading in a book recently, and it says 71% of leaders feel touches of imposter syndrome on a regular basis, and that's one of those moments. And I've been in some of those rooms like you have, and you sit back and you're like, why the heck am I here? And why did I get invited? And are you sure you got the right person here?
Exactly.
That's when you're pushing the envelope, right? And that's when you don't want to be the smartest person in the room all the time.
Never. Yes. I always try to find my way into those rooms. But what I did realize was that I do belong there as any agent in this company would belong there, because we're the ones out in the field. I've got my finger on the pulse of what generally is going on with the average agent in this business. And that's what he cares about. So yes, I can bring value there.
Yeah, it is funny because when we sit down and have conversations, so you're talking EXP World Holdings. So for everybody else, if you guys don't know this, EXP World Holdings is let's say, for example, the mothership. I don't know what else we call it, right? And then EXP Realty is under that, and Success is under that, and there's a number of things. So the EXP World Holdings is EXPI, and that's what the stock is. All of these companies below. So you sit on the board for the mothership, which is pretty cool. And it's interesting because we've sat in a lot of conversations over the years. I've sat in conversations with MBAs talking about real estate and brokerages. And it's so foreign to them, the way real estate agents do business and the way companies roll in the real estate business. It's like a completely different planet to them. They're like, that doesn't make sense. So you're the voice of reason, the voice of understanding, and just saying, well, here's how realtors will see that.
Yeah. The perspective is important when you're sitting around a table like that, making decisions, especially when it's an agent-owned company. And that's the driving force. So we need to have a voice, and Glenn and the leadership recognize that, and the rest of the board members who also are super smart and really care about this company. And I feel good. I will send the message out to the world right now. You can feel very good about your board of directors. They care a lot about what's going on out in the field.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because the more I get involved in leadership and the more of the leadership that I get to know, the more I realize that they really do have a heart for real estate agents. It's kind of funny because we have the T-shirts that say "I Heart EXP," and I've always going from a leadership standpoint, we should all have our own T-shirts say "EXP Hearts Agents."
That's a great idea for a T-shirt, Russ. Let's go.
Marketing hashtag.
Marketing. Hey.
EXP Heart Agents, right?
Yeah, that's right.
When you really look at it, a lot of times you're like, what can we do to make the experience better? And we don't always get it right. But I've been in companies where they just don't care. And I don't last very long in those because I'm like, I'm not working with a company that doesn't care about its people. That doesn't make any sense at all. If it's just about bottom line, this is about both. You got to take care of the people and the bottom line goes up, right?
Yeah. In that order, usually, yes.
Yeah, and I love that that's the mindset in almost all the leadership meetings. It's like, let's take good care of our people and the numbers are going to go up. And that really is how it starts. So very good.
Yeah.
So real estate agent. So you're a relationship person. What does that mean?
I am. Well, I learned really quickly when I got into the business in 2003 that there were basically two ways to make money in real estate as far as selling. Yeah. One would be transactionally, which is doing business with people you don't know, the door knocking, the cold calling, open houses, those kind of things. And then the other side of that coin is doing business with people you know, or people they know. And after trying both and realizing that I would just be in tears after cold calling, because if anybody is remotely mean to me, I am crying on the floor. I'm not having it.
I hate that for you because that's painful, right?
It was painful. And I thought, gosh, if I had to do this, I'm not sure this business is right for me. I would need to really develop that shell or develop a level of motivation that would push me through that. And I didn't have it. And I know that most agents don't. But here's the challenge, Russ. Most agents think if I choose relationship side of the business, if that's the way I want to go, then I just have to hope for the best and hope that my friends use me and send referrals.
Yeah.
That's just not the case.
Agreed.
There is a system you can use. There is intention and purpose you can use to build this great business by referral that will fulfill you and make life, easier than door knocking and cold calling. Yeah. And I'm not knocking that, by the way. I admire the agents that choose that path or the hybrid agents. It's just not for me.
Yeah. So here's my visual. Transactional side people, it's a large amount of inputs to get a small amount of money. And it's usually just a numbers game, like you said, right? Yeah. And then you look at the relational stuff. You take a small pool of relationships, do a really good job of taking care of them, communicating with them, making them feel loved and appreciated, making them feel like you're their expert, and you can get a ton of money out of that.
That's right. The old Zig Ziglar quote. Help others get what they want. You have everything you want. It's going deep and helping them, not just in real estate, but that relationship, that strengthening and deepening that relationship where they know you care.
Yeah. I think part of our industry has been challenging for me in a lot of ways because a lot of people polarize towards, and a lot of the coaches polarize towards that bang the phones, it's a numbers game thing. And those transactional people can do massive amounts because they take massive amount of transactions to a massive amount of people. And then they get to the stage and go, this is how you do it. And then there's a bunch of us people over here that are just like, I just want to love and cherish people.
Right. I want to be authentic and organic, and I don't want to sell anybody.
Yeah.
Here's a big news flash. We're not selling anybody on anything. Like a house is too big to talk somebody into it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hey, it's Friday. How do you got an extra 400 grand laying around?
You buy this house. I'm not in the market for a house. Oh, you should buy it.
Oh, you are now.
Yeah, right.
I just sold your house, by the way. Now you got to go buy something.
Yes. Yes. That's another way to do it. Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to make sure we're clear. Neither one of them is better than the other. You just got to find the one that's right for you. So for the transactional people, good for you. I know a guy that Darren James loves calling FSBOs. And I'm like, good for you.
Awesome.
I'm standing in a room on Wednesday in Phoenix this week. I just got back last night. And I said, how many of you guys love doing that? And he's the only one that put his hand up. I said, so for the rest of you guys, let's talk about some things that might work for you. How does that sound? Neither one of them are better than the others. You just got to find the one that you love. And the thing that you wake up in the morning, you're like, I love my life.
Yes, that's right. Or in reality also, what are you going to do even when you don't really want to do it?
Yes.
You know, what are you willing to get bored as heck doing? Right? Because that's part of the game too, is just that consistency of something. But if you're traveling down a path that feels you feel resistance on, or you feel inauthentic, or it's rubbing against everything that's, in your core personality, it's just not going to last very long, Russ. It's going to be too hard, and you're going to grind out. And so, you got to be honest with yourself. I'm not going to make cold calls. If that's what this takes, I'm not going to do it. You know?
It's funny because a lot of that ties back to like the core of who we are, and integrity is used interestingly a lot of times, but we have our own personal integrity. So, for me, I don't like it when somebody bangs on my door on a Tuesday evening wanting to sell me something or talk to me about anything, right? If it's knock and it's like FedEx, I'm excited, right? If it's UPS, it's Prime, I'm excited, right? I want them to knock on my door and let me know the package is there. But everybody else, they can suck a lemon, right? I don't want it. So I'm not going to do that to somebody if it doesn't fit. Like for me, if it makes me mad, why would I do that to somebody else? And we have people doing things that they hate themselves being done to them.
Yes.
So find the things that you love to do and do more of that.
Yes. Well, ironically, the difference between those two things that you said is FedEx and Amazon are giving you something. The others want something from you.
Right.
So, we can use that all day long.
It's the same way I look at hugging. It's kind of funny because we were talking about that the other day with another lady, and she's like, thank you so much for hugging me. I haven't been hugged in a while. And I'm thinking like, okay, got it. I'm like, you want a second one? And she started laughing. She's like, I will totally take a second one. It was an older woman, and she lives by herself and so forth. And I thought, you know what? I've never taken a hug yet. I've given a bunch.
Yes.
So I don't take them. I give them. So,
I love that. That's cute. That's awesome.
And we give a little piece of ourselves sometimes when we do that. That literally is me giving a little piece of myself. And I know not everybody appreciates that. However, for me, that's fits with the way I roll. So that's how I do it if it's available.
I like that. I'm a hugger too. So I give you
there you go. And it's okay if you're not. It's all right. So let's talk relationships. So let's get specific on relationships, because I think a lot of people still approach relationships as I'm going to build the relationship so I can get something.
Yeah.
Think about your marriage. Think about your spouse. Think about my marriage and my spouse. My wife and I celebrated 29 years anniversary last week. At 29 years married. Amazing. All to the same woman.
Yeah. Nice. Good.
Yeah.
That's a good clarification.
And when you look at the relationship, a lot of people get into relationships to try to get something out of the relationship. And I think probably the core for us, and my wife and I both agree, it's like, I'm in this relationship and I want to give to the relationship, and then I get plenty, but I want to give to the relationship. So how does that work in business?
Sure. Well, the first thing to understand is why people give referrals, because this is what we're talking about. I mean, yes, your friends can hire you, or your, sphere of influence, your circle, but really we're talking a lot about referrals. And so you have to understand one thing about that. First of all, giving a referral is a pain in the, what. We think it's no big deal. How can my friend have not mentioned me to her neighbor when there's someone?
Yes.
We must realize that for somebody to give a referral to you, two things have to be in place. We know this. One, they have to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you will do a very good job for that person. They have to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are capable, right? So we have that task we have to handle. But the other piece of it is they have to care deeply about your success.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about they have to just like you. Oh, Russ is a good guy. that's not enough for somebody to stop what they're doing,
Agreed.
get your number, edify you, get the other person's number, connect you. Like, that's a pain for people. They're too busy. But if they care deeply about your success and they know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're going to give like the best service, if those two things are in place, that's when you'll get the referral. So we look at those two things separately as far as what we have to do every day in our 2 hours of filling up our business, right? Yes. We've got to make sure we're educating.
Right.
Because Russ, I'm going to ask you, do you know, in my opinion, what the number one job of a realtor is? The number one job.
I'm 100% all for this. Probably the same thing you're for is education. The more we educate, the more they know what to expect. They know more. They know what's going to come, what's most likely to happen. The easier the whole transaction becomes.
Yeah, I love it. You're on the path, guys. I want you to write this down. If you're listening to this, this is going to change everything for you.
Yeah.
The number one job as a realtor is that you hold position A in the category of real estate agent in the minds of 100 to 150 people.
Yeah.
You must, if I called your 100 to 150 people and I said, quick, name a real estate agent. This is a random survey. Quick, name a real estate agent. If they don't say your name in like 2 seconds, you have very little chance of earning that business.
Yeah.
So your job's not to show houses. Your job's not to represent them. Your job's not to open the doors. Those are results of you doing your job.
Love that.
Right? Those are results. Your job is to make sure that you hold position A, top of mind awareness, in the category of realtor in the minds of 100 to 150 people.
Yep.
Obviously, depending on how much business you're trying to do, that can adjust. Right?
So we're talking 100 to 150 rabid fans. And some people right now, Monica, are going, I don't have 150 rabid fans. So this is your job, is to build that group of 100 to 150 rabid fans.
That's right.
And then your litmus test is, if I ask them, who's your favorite realtor? Boom, they spit your name out
like
right
that.
on the gate, right?
Like
and this is all about being known, right? So people have 500 people in their sphere, but they don't see them as their expert.
That's right. That's right. And I think that question, if you are really honest with yourself, guys, if you said, oh my gosh, if Monica called my top 150, I don't know that they might come to my name eventually.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, people forget about you when they go to bed. So this is a daily freaking job, daily, right?
And this is where a big part of social goes wrong with a lot of agents, is that they do a lot of look at me marketing in social. And it's not look at me, it's here's something for you. Hey, I'm Russ Slaggin, the real estate dude, and here's something for you. And they feel like you're giving to them constantly versus just trying to get something.
That's right. That's 100% right. We have a mantra, and a lot of this comes from, Hank Avank in the 36.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So Hank's awesome.
Right straight for me.
A lot of this mindset comes from that. And then over the years, I've added things in, but I have to give him full credit. This idea of human being first.
Yes.
Realtor second. And we have sort of these, I always picture these gear shifts together, Russ. And one gear is the human being aspect of it. Yes. That you are going deep with these relationships, you're strengthening, you're doing things every day to make sure, that relationship is there. The other gear shift is that education piece you're talking about. And we call it flying your flag, flying your real estate flag.
Yeah.
This is not saying, hey, who do you know that's looking to make a move? That's never it. That's just, it can be every once in a while, but that's icky. Yeah. What is not icky is, hey, did you guys know in the Cincinnati MLS, there are currently 65 pieces of property over 100 acres for sale? Who needs some space?
Wow.
That's interesting to people, right?
Yes.
Or a funny MLS photo, which is, if you follow me on Facebook, it's all I do. And people know me for that.
Yes.
Listen, if you call them, they're thinking of me, because every single day I hashtag what realtors see. Hashtag curious realtor. So they're thinking of me. They're thinking of me, and they're thinking of real estate, right?
When they see something and it makes them feel something, it'll make them do something.
That's right.
Right. So I love what you're saying, and I love Hank. He and I had a rough start in the beginning. He and I went toe to toe, two alphas. He was fighting for his people, I was fighting for my people.
Nice.
And neither one of us were understanding each other. And here, like 2-3 years later, he comes back. He goes, I totally misunderstood you. And I said, I totally misunderstood you.
Oh, I
too.
love that. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. So it was one of those moments, but I love his take on things in a lot of ways. And I love the fact that he's actually softened a little too now.
Yes.
Because he's more of the people things. So being first, doing second. Being first, doing second. The being's first, or the being first, and then the doing for the people, or trying to do something with the people, is second. So
yeah, that's right. And that human side, you have to ask yourself, we all know who are in, like, I'll call them my board of directors, right? Those people that they're just the first at your door when something goes wrong. They're the first phone call. They're your people. Yep. So I'm going to ask everybody that's listening to this, how many circles like that are you in? How many people are you showing up like that for?
Yes, I love that.
Right. So if you are not that to other people, that's your first space. And that can be as simple as a phone call checking in. That can be a random act of kindness. That can be connecting people with things that make their life easier. That can be a compliment. That can be a thoughtful gift. All kinds of appreciation marketing techniques to bring out that human piece. And it doesn't have to be about real estate.
Yes.
I've got people in my top 150 that I've never sold a house to, but if you called them, they would say, Monica's my agent. And it's just because how I show up as a human being with them, and that they're really clear on what I do for a living and how I help people.
So there's so much to love about that. I'm going to tell Randy, our producer, we're going over 4 hours here, Randy. I hope you don't mind.
This is 5 minutes. Let's go.
He's going to have a heart attack here in a second. So, so I think you just shifted something in my head, and I love that. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. So we talk a lot about how many people are in our circle. You just said, how many other people's circle are we in?
That's it.
You bring value to their circles. So their circles are in our circles, and our circles are in their circles, versus just saying, how many people are in our circle? How many circles are other people's circles are you in?
Whose world are you in at that level? I want to be Aunt Monica, not Realtor Monica. Right? Because Aunt Monica is celebrating when Sally gets into Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Aunt Monica is celebrating when they win the club championship. Like, I'm a part of the big events, good and sad. When the family pet dies, like they're getting something from me. And that's not because I want a real estate transaction from them. That's because that's the culture in my business.
Right.
And here's something I do want to say, and I'm so glad you let me go over, because as you can tell, I get really excited about this.
Same here.
Listen, the 100 to 150 people that you're going to pour into, and yes, you're going to give and take care of in and out of real estate.
Yes.
That some of them are not going to buy houses from you.
Yep.
And this is not a quid pro quo. This is not, well, I brought her dinner when her mom was dying. I can't believe she sold her house with somebody else. No. This is because you're simply building a culture and a karma inside of your business of giving. Yep. And then you don't have to worry about where that's coming from. You're not getting it necessarily exactly from this list.
Yeah.
That's a big misconception. You will a lot, like it will work. It's called the law of reciprocity. And it's a universal law that's been working for millions of years or however long. I'm exaggerating.
So if you want to give first and give more and continue to give, and the rest of it will take care of itself.
Yes, it's abundance. It's the spirit of abundance. But our business has cultivated a spirit of scarcity for so many years, and this for that. And I just promise you, if you just wake up every day and look at your top 100 to 150 people and say, what can I do for them today? Yep. That's your 2 hours a day.
Yep.
Now, you also have to be posting because you have to educate, and you hit the nail on the head, Russ, with that. If they don't remember what you do for a living, they will forget. I always say, if you're not doing those two things together, human being and flying your flag, if you're just being a good human being, you'll be well-liked and broke. Yep. If you're only flying your flag and you suck as a human being, you won't even be well-liked and you'll be broke. Like, so you got to do both, right?
Pick your worst, right?
Right. They go together. You must do it. And you're not bugging people. People love what we do for a living. They want to see your real estate stuff. Thank God you don't sell insurance.
Yes.
Nobody wants to hear about that. But they love what we see. They love the tools we have. They love what we do. They love everything about real estate.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Absolutely. All right, Monica, we're going to make t-shirts for you. Monica loves clients. Monica loves people.
I love people. And mostly I love realtors because they're my people. And I just want to, I want somebody that wants to do business this way.
Yes.
To find the system and work. You have to work, right?
Yep. That's it.
Hey, I could go on. I'll
My
stop.
lead as a leader. Love people, and the rest of it takes care of itself.
That's right.
All right. Awesome. Pleasure chatting with you, Monica. Thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing you when I come to Cincinnati.
Thanks, Russ. Yes, sir.
Good stuff. All righty. Well, there you go. I went from hair to no hair to no hair to back to hair. I told you guys, I warned you it was coming. So I just wanted to say that was 2 amazing sessions. We had a bunch of sessions to choose from. Those 2 ladies are just gifts to be in our EXP world. And you guys get access to these people. These are people that are helping make the place a better place. So with that said, today, let us know how we did. NPS survey. Give us a fair score. How this replay, best of best Russ week for Big Agent Meeting went this week. Give us a scale, a 1 to 10 rating. Let us know how we did. If there's anything you want to adjust, don't hesitate to let us know. And let us know if we did something good too that you liked, because we want to make sure we're doing more of that. So thank you all and every time for the NPS survey results. We look at them every Monday morning. So I appreciate you taking time to do that. So with that said, you guys know what's coming up next. iConversations coming up next. Stay tuned. Conversation with icons about how to take your business to the next level.